Most often on this channel, it seems we discuss issues, mostly socio-political or pop culture, but today I want to talk about something a little more personal. For those of you who don't know, I've got a funky form of epilepsy. The stereotype is that it's triggered by flashing lights, but in my case, it's actually chemically triggered. See, I have what's known as a cavernous malformation in my left mesial temporal lobe, or, to put it more simply, a hole in the language center of my brain. It makes it difficult to take concepts and put them together with the words that express them. I can do it the other way around, word with definition, but definition to word sometimes fails, even when I've used both all my life. Worse, it happens with faces and names. People I've known for decades. I see their face and I know them, but for the life of me, I have no idea what their name is. I might even have used it a few days ago, but gone now. Again, however, it's different backward. Tell me someone's name, and their face will pop up in my memory right away. Weird, right? Thing is, most people also associate epilepsy with seizures, falling down, twitching and foaming seizures, and that hasn't happened to me in years. I did pass out on the street once a long time ago, and I mean literally face-planted right in front of an ambulance, believe it or not. Like I said, my epilepsy is chemically triggered. As long as I avoid certain foods that make blood vessels contract, I'm fine. I know most of them, but every now and then I'll encounter a vasoconstrictor I wasn't aware of, and I get a seizure. But, as I said, they're not the twitching and foaming sort. They're what's known as absences or petit mal seizures. It's kind of a loss of awareness, a diminishing of consciousness. I can't speak for everybody, but for me, what happens is I basically go unconscious standing up. I don't see, I don't hear, I just go blank. But I don't just stand there either. I can also walk and have. For all I know, I'm still aware of what I'm doing, but my memory isn't retained. I don't know. What I do know is that I have no idea when they start, I only know when they end. But they don't end right away. Consciousness comes back slowly over the course of several minutes. And while it does, I have absolutely no idea where I am. It doesn't matter how familiar the place I am should be. I'll recognize nothing. And being in a big city like Seattle, that's a bit terrifying. Take yesterday, for example. I'm walking home from the supermarket. Home is about 3 or 4 blocks away. And suddenly I'm in the middle of nowhere. The last thing I remember is putting away the box of prepackaged Rice Krispie treats to eat one on the way home. Suddenly I feel like I'm coming out of a trance. Slowly, oh so slowly, I start being able to see again. I don't know whether my eyes roll up in the back of my head, if my vision is chemically cut off, or if I just have my eyes closed, but one way or another, I begin to come back to myself. And yet, I don't recognize my surroundings at all. I'm in a strange, unfamiliar city with no idea how I got there, no idea where to go. Stranger in a strange land. Try to think about that for a second. Imagine being blindfolded, transported, and then dumped into a city you've never been to with no idea how to get back, or even necessarily where back is. Can you honestly tell me you wouldn't be at least a little scared? Slowly, over the course of several minutes, it comes back to me that I'm in Seattle. But what part? Where? I don't know why, but I suddenly thought I was in the University District, which makes no sense because that's way far north of home. So I start walking south, though I couldn't have told you it was south, it just felt like I was headed home, only to slowly, oh so slowly realize that no, I'm not in the U District, and not only is home behind me, but at some point I turned 90 degrees south instead of heading down my home street to my building. Hell, at some point, I safely crossed a very busy street without getting nailed by a car. So I turn around and go home, unload all my groceries, and go take a nap for an hour. If you don't think all of that is terrifying, I wish I could make you try it just once. I don't wish it on anybody, really, but if I had psychic powers to give someone a memory like a bad episode of Star Trek, I would. This is also why I'm not allowed to drive a car anymore. And I say anymore because it's only hit a few years ago. The doctors tell me I always had that hole in my brain, but it's gotten larger over the years. They could operate to stop the seizures, but it would probably render me completely unable to speak, they said. I guess I'll just have to avoid eating things like bacon, chocolate, caffeine, ginger, etc. I can't name any of the triggers that aren't something I really like. Figures. So now I have a disabled bus pass that makes fares only $1 instead of something crazy like $2.75. I'll have to see if I can get one of those when I move to San Diego next month. In any case, if you ever wondered what this is like, there you go. I'm not looking for sympathy, though perhaps a bit of empathy. That, and I was honestly having difficulty coming up with a topic for this week. Up next is that Wayne fellow you've probably read so much about. Until next time, fellow space travelers. A thumbs up for this video is a vote for excellence and glory. Subscribe to Bionic Dance and make the internet great again.